Okay, I will start now. Today's the topic and unit is BLI 222. BLI 222 is information source and services. Um, you all know that the basic functions of library is collecting the information, then the information is after collecting the information, which includes the accessioning processes and ordering processes, then after collecting the information, the process is the document is processing includes two activities. One is cataloging and another is classification. After cataloging and classification scheme, complete of after classification and cataloging, then the process is or the work is organizations of the documents. Organizations means the self organization. The self list is creation. Next, the after organization of document, then the work is the dissemination of information according to user need. Okay, I'll share my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The first unit, in this paper is categorization of sources. Different according source, the information sources are different. We are divided into different categories. One is documentary sources, non-documentary sources, print sources, non-printed sources, published sources, unpublished sources, primary source, secondary source, tertiary source, macro and micro sources, conventional and non-conventional sources. I will elaborate one by one. First is documentary sources. What is documentary sources? All sources in the form of documents. All sources form of documents are documentary sources. Documentary sources are example is books, manuscripts, periodicals, patents, standard thesis, reports, blogs, diary, letter, office file, conference documents. Non-documentary source which are we have three types of non-documentary source. One is human created, uh, that is information professional consultants, organization related inform different types of international agencies, research and development organizations, academic institutions, and next is print sources. Print source means all the sources are collecting and into print form. All sources that are print from are print sources. Print sources examples is books, periodicals, patents, standards, reports. Are non-print sources, documentary sources that are non-printed. Non-print examples of non-printed sources is manuscript, theses, diaries, letters, office files, microforms, CD recording, databases, computer files, and e-publication. Now, the published sources, information sources are divided published source and unpublished source. Next, discuss what is primary sources. Primary sources mean a source will be considered as primary source in case it carries newly generated information or original work of research or new interpretation of already known facts. Primary sources, the information is collected from firstly in any places. The examples of primary sources is patent, thesis, dissertations, diaries, letters is the primary sources. Next, secondary sources. The sources which is more or less completely dependent on primary sources for its existence. is the secondary source. Information is secondary source is organized and arranging according to definite plan. The secondary source means the source which is more or less depending on primary sources. The secondary source is written down from the information collected through from primary sources. Next, tertiary sources. A source that is entirely dependent on secondary source or primary source. The tertiary sources are collaborate in primary sources and secondary sources. Now, Dennis Gogan is the information scientist. Very important questions. According to Dennis Gogan, he divided into sources of information into three categories. Already, I will discuss what is primary source and secondary source and tertiary source. Here, primary source includes periodicals, research reports, conference proceedings, reports of scientific expeditions, official publication, patents, standards, state literature, thesis and dissertations, laboratory notebooks, diaries, all are also the primary sources of information. Next, I will discuss one by one in next slide. Research, what is research report, what is periodical, proceedings, expeditions, official publication. Next is secondary sources. Secondary source secondary source examples is periodicals, abstracting services, indexing services, review of progress. I will discuss what is abstracting service, what is indexing service. We already know encyclopedia, what is encyclopedias, what is dictionaries, handbooks, tables, formulas, treatises. Next, tertiary sources. Tertiary sources are formed in the collaboration of primary source and secondary source. Examples of tertiary sources of yearbook, directories, bibliographies, location list of periodical, guide to literature, list of research progress. Uh, in this slide, I will discuss one by one is the primary periodical. What is primary periodical? The primary periodical is one that contains either wholly or mostly research paper. Primary periodicals mean primary periodicals includes the mostly research paper. The first writing of any information construct of primary periodic. Examples: Indian Journal of Chemical Technology, Journal of Physics. These are primary periodicals. First information published in primary periodicals. Next, reports. In a library arena of reports are encountered. They may be categorized technical reports, administrative reports, and trip reports. Various types of reports are we are collecting, we are processing in our library arena: technical report, administrative report, trip report. Details, it is not possible. Time is very constrained, but I will discuss next further. Next is conference documents. Conference documents are also important source of information as they often contain nascent ideas. Many conferences are organized by Indian Library across the globe. Some are like Indian Library Association and Indian Association Special Library Information Center conference. Yearly, they are arranged with the many type of conference. Next, monograph. A monograph presents a detailed study on single subject, class of subject or a persons, and usually accompanied with a bibliography. Next, official publication. Official publication is also the primary source of information. Government publications are official publication. The government generates both primary and secondary documents. Different scientific journals brought out by Desidov, Delhi is a primary publication. Primary publication is the primary source of information. On the other hand, Indian National Bibliography it is created by Central Reference Library, Kolkata, is a secondary publication. The National Bibliography, why National Bibliography secondary publication? National Bibliography created the data collected from the primary source of information. That's why it is called the primary secondary publication. Next is patents. What is patent? The word patent means an official right given to a person to make, use, or sell a product, process, design, invented by her or him or fixed number of years. A certain number of years they have given to the patent right. In other words, the patent is a government grant to patent conferring or her or him or stated period of time exclusive privilege of using the patent invention. Now, patent, now standard is something set up and established by authority as a rule for a measures of quality, extent, value, and product. We can find out the any type of product. ISO, Indian Standard Organization, ISO. It is provided by the Bureau of Indian Standards. Standard is the primary source of information. What is trade literature? What is trade literature? Like here, I give an example. When you visit a trade fair or book fair, some people standing on the road hand over to you leaflet printed sheet which contains the description of a product. Trade literature includes the description of the product, commodity, or services. When you purchase a bottle of medicine, you may find inside the packet a printed sheet describing the medicine, covering all its important aspects such as composition, mode of administration, dosage, side effects. These are basically the trade literature. Next, thesis and dissertation. What is thesis and dissertation? The two words is synonymous. Thesis and thesis. We submitted thesis in PhD degree, and dissertation. You have to submit it, your dissertation in MLIS after completion of MLIS. You will be able to you will join the MLIS classes and you will be submitted the dissertation. The two words thesis and dissertation are used sometimes as synonymous, sometimes separately and sometimes in such a way to indicate that total ember. The thesis and dissertation is synonymous. Um, it is unpublished document and first time informations are incorporated in thesis. Next, project reports. Project reports as for completion of master degree in many university institutions, they are mandatory requirement because of students work on project report in IGNOU syllabus. Project in MLIS degree, one dissertation is necessary to submit to the IGNOU authority. The project report or dissertation is the primary source of information. Next, reprints. In many cases, after the publication of an article in journal, the author is supplied with a few printed copies of the article for her his own use. These printed copies are called reprints. Next, information leaflet. Already I will discuss information leaflet or trade literature. The information leaflet, information of the product or commodity, reprints, preprints or manuscript. Preprints, what is preprint? A preprint is a typewritten scientific paper. That is the manuscript that is yet to be published in a scientific journal. That means that the paper is yet to be peer reviewed. Next, laboratory notebook and diary. All know that what is laboratory notebook. Diary writers, scholars, rulers, and many other maintain diaries in day-to-day activities. These diaries provide most authentic bibliographical material and plenty of other information. Normally, these diaries are handwritten and sometimes, depending on their importance, they are published also. Next, internal research report. Internal research report is also the primary source. Is often companies, institutions, and organizations conduct research to survey the market, consumer behavior, sale of particular product. When we launch a product in market, um, every organization, every big organization, uh, they can survey the market in their product before launching the product. Minutes of the meeting. In a office, apart from governing body, there is the executive committee, purchase committee, staff selection committee. All these committees hold meeting from time to time. The agenda of the meeting, members present in the meeting deliberate that took place and decisions taken in the meeting are all meticulous record in the document. This document is called the minutes of the meeting. Usually, this document is kept in a file and used in official purpose from time to time. For example, minutes of the book selection committee. In library perspectives, book selection committee every 3 months after we have arranged a book selection committee meeting is used to ordering books in a library. 1 minute. Next, official files correspondence is also the primary sources of information. Next, audio and video tapes. Audio tapes may contain lecture by eminent professors, scientists, authors, politicians, and others. Often debate in the legislative bodies, cross-examinations of the criminals are also the authenticated the statement of a person's computer program, data files is the primary sources of input. Now we'll discuss the secondary and tertiary sources of information. Secondary sources of information is the example is secondary periodical. A secondary periodical may be defined as periodic publication that disseminate information contained in primary source in various forms, such as index, abstract, digest, or abstracting periodical. What is abstracting periodical? An abstracting periodical is a periodical publication that contains an abstract of the publication. Abstracting periodical in material published the abstract total not a published a total document, the abstract of the document, abstract of the journal, abstract of the document in addition the bibliographical details. The abstract may be informative, the abstract may be informative and indicative. Next, indexing periodical. An indexing periodical is a periodic publication that includes the bibliographical details of an article or any other document. It does not provide any abstract entries or arranged either under class number or under subject heading. House journal. Often an industrial house, a scientific organization and educational institutions or other bodies bring out different categories of periodicals reflecting mainly the various activities of the house. These periodicals are usually called the house journals and appear in various forms. Next, bibliography. Bibliography, one line definition. Bibliography means it's a list of documents or list of books are arranged systematically order. Examples of bibliography: national bibliography. A national bibliography lists the publication produced from a nation. They may appear in the form of book or a periodical. It does not, however, list all sorts of publications. For example, Indian National Bibliography published in British Libraries, National BNB, British National Bibliography. Indian National Bibliography published in Kolkata Central Reference Library 1957. Next, trade bibliography. Trade bibliography is also the trade, the compare of the trade literature. Trade bibliographies are brought out by the commercial publishers, booksellers, distributors, printers, and others. Normally, these bibliographies list books which are meant for sale, thesis, reports, patent standards are excluded. Limited bibliographical details are provided in the entries along with the price. The details of the product, details of the information or publisher information are there. List of research in progress. Research in progress meaning like work in progress. In research laboratories, university, institute, or higher learning, Researchers are engaged in research projects. If researchers in the world remaining unaware of this project, it is quite likely that there will be some duplication research work. Next, reference sources, various type of reference sources, one like encyclopedia, multi-volume of encyclopedias, at the secondary source of information. Dictionaries is also the secondary of the information. What is dictionary? A dictionary, as you know, provides a list of words of a language in alphabetical order and explain what they mean, gives a word name in a foreign language. Next, handbook. Handbook, that to comprehensive define a handbook is a task. In a Harold Glossary, handbook has been defined as a treatise or special subject. Next, manual. Manual is a book that gives instruction about to use a machine. Directories. A directories list name of persons, institutions, or organization of a particular area. The area may be locally a town, a country. Directory. Yearbook. Yearbook is the name of suggest appear annually. Yearbook is published annually and updates information every year. Yearbook are also various types, various types of information, various types of the can be categorized as general, subject oriented, or national. The Statesman Yearbook, the examples. Next, Almanac. Almanac in the Bengali term is Punjika. By definition, an almanac is an annual calendar containing important dates and statistical information such as astronomical data. The various almanac published in our country, usually called Panchang, Punjika, provide a data in chronological order. Map. A map is a sheet of a paper or similar material on which the Earth's surface or part of it shown, indicating countries, oceans, seas, mountain, river, desert, road, etc. Road. Secondary source. Now, Atlas. All know that what is Atlas, what is globes. Gazetteer. A gazetteer is like a dictionary of place names around Bengal Gazetteer, Indian Gazetteer. Here we can access the information of the details of the any places, place names, their geographical entities with this statistical, economical, and geographical historical information. We access from Gazetteers. Now, guidebook. Guidebook are usually meant for tourists and provide various information usually required by them for a place or tourist interest. This book provides such information as when to go, how to go, where to stay. Guidebook. Um, we all are when we are going to any place, we consult the various types of guidebooks. Bengali is Bhraman Punjika, is the various famous Bhraman the guidebook. Now, the big biographical sources. A biography is an account of someone's life. Biography, what is biography? Biography is an account of someone's life. Biographical source appears from a biographical dictionaries and individual biographies. Biographical dictionaries three types: who's he, who was who, and the combination of both. Now, textbook. A textbook is a book that is used by a student as a standard or particular branch of study. A textbook is also the information secondary source of information. Now, computer files, bibliographical database, data banks, CD-ROM, all are the secondary source of information. Now, I discuss the tertiary source. Tertiary source, one is the library catalog, another is bibliography of bibliographies. Bibliographies have been categorized under secondary source and bibliography of bibliographies under tertiary source. You may note that the both types are bibliographies. Library catalog are also bibliographies. Documentary source 60 secondary and tertiary reflecting the collecting of particular library. Bibliography already we discussed. The bibliography is a list of books. The bibliography of bibliographies. A bibliography of bibliographies is a list of bibliographies. They may be classified or arranged alphabetically, subject-wise or other. Most of them are in book form. Now, guides to literature, directory of directories. A directory of directories list of the directories available on a particular topic or pertaining to a particular area. The tertiary source, definition of tertiary source. Tertiary source consists of the information uh, collecting from primary source and the secondary source, construct the information collecting primaries and construct the tertiary source. The directory and directories. Directory is the secondary source of information. We can collect the information from secondary source and construct the directory of directories, the tertiary source. Guide to reference source. Various types of reference sources have been discussed. Guides to reference source list, reference books, usually subject to wise, is a secondary source of information. That's it. Stop now. I am stop my sharing. Next, I will discuss my second slide. Present. Now, the human as a source of information. Human as a source of information. Human source. First, I discuss the human source versus human resource. Human being also possess all human beings also possesses information and usually deliver the same when needed. Thus, they become human source of information. And human resource has been defined as the people that the staff and operate an organization, the personnel employed in organization. According to the definition, all the staff engaged in the library is a human resources. Now, the various types of professionals generate the information. I will discuss one by one. First, information generators. Who is the information generator? Now, researcher, inventors, innovators, discoverers, thinkers, authors, planners, policymakers, decision maker, judges are examples of generators of they can generate various types of information. All those people know in and out of the information they have generated, and thus they become good source of information. A researcher, surveyor, observers, thinks, hypothesis, designs and conducts experiments, reports and results, and finally draw conclusions. Sometimes surveyor tabulates data, analyze the tabulate data. An astronomer, he also generates the various type of information. Hmm. Next, information gatherers. Who are on information gatherers? Reporters, correspondents, detectives, spies, police, compilers, enumerator are information gatherers by profession. All these people receive training from the job they do. Of course, there are many others in the society who gather information for various purposes. For example, students gather information to enrich his knowledge, and lawyer gather information his client to defend her case. A doctor gather information his patient, his or her patient to diagnose the disease. However, we shall discuss on this category those only person who profession gather information, compilers, bibliographers, lexicographers, encyclopedias, and reviewer standard of the generate the information. Compiler also gatherers of information. Lexicographer first gather word, phrase, idioms, proverbs, or language from written as well as spoken sources. They record the main of the details in each and every item. Information processors. The editor. First, I discuss the information generator, information gatherer, and information processor. The editor, while going through the writing, correct spelling mistakes, capitalizations, errors, wrong use of articles, incorrect use of words and punctuation marks, syntax, paraphrasing, removes superfluous sentence, verbs, repetition, and inconsistencies, and files of omission. In many cases, the writing is sent back to the author with the corrections and remarks to author's consent. The information, there is the information processor. Information recorders. The author and the reporter, in most cases, are found to be the first record of information. Who is the first recorder of information? Author and the reporter. Inscribe, engravers, scribes, calligraphers, printers, data entry operators, typists, stenographers, composers, videographers, photographers, painters, all are the professionals that belongs to this category, and they are generate, they are recorded the information. Now, information disseminator. Now, the information disseminator. So, library professionals, a librarian, a reference librarian, compilers of accessions, list of documents are the disseminator of information. এটা তাহলে disseminator of information is a library professional. তাহলে earlier I discussed first the activities of library is the collecting of the documents. Collecting of the documents, the work includes there the processing and accessioning, ordering, and purchasing. After collecting the documents, the four activities in a library: collection, then processing means classification scheme. After classification of the document, then we create the catalog. Earlier it was maintained in traditional catalog. Now we maintain development of ICT. We have to maintain the MARC catalog, machine access reviewable catalog. Well, first collecting the document, then processing the document, then organization of the document. Organization, self arrangement. All the books are
Sir,
kept. Uh,
sir, if you
uh,
don't mind, actually another class has been started and teacher is asking if it has been finished or not. Has,
Another class.
yes, has been started, sir. The time has already gone.
And okay, I will take only 2 or 3 minutes. Huh?
Yeah, sure, no issue, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Information. Now, information. I'll discuss the collection of the documents, processing of documents, arranging of the documents. Now, the dissemination of the document. Dissemination of the documents according to the user. Users means the students in academic library, students, researchers, faculties. Now, information officers. Information officers. Certain documents are designated as information officers. Last I discussed only translator. Well, information generator, information processor, information gatherers, now translator. Articles, news item, books, periodicals, patent, theses are appearing in numerous language in the world, such as English, Russian, German, French, Spanish, Chinese, Hindi, or Bengali. It is not possible for a person to learn all the language. So, need to require the translator. information condenser, information retrievers, informaticians, information perceivers, lawyers, তাহলে information profession, who is information officer, all we all know that lawyers, doctors, teachers, experts, resource person, technological gatekeeper, um, invisible college. I will it will be discussed in next class, that is organized tomorrow in at 3 p.m. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir.
Stop.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You can leave. Atunu, you can leave and join the your next class.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
Bye, sir.